So far, the bride and groom haven't arrived. In fact, the hall is still empty. When the bride and groom arrive, this is where they're going to sit. This particular table will be set out with all kinds of different food, mostly national food like this. The bride and groom will sit in these two seats, and the best man and the chief bridesmaid will sit at the edges of the table like that. Within the main hall, there's going to be all of the bride's guests on one side and all of the groom's guests on the other side. When the bride and groom arrive, there'll be a special celebration. There's a typical Kazakh celebration, and that will be called Bet Arsha. Within a modern Kazakh wedding ceremony, there are actually two weddings that take place. One is the groom's wedding, and the other is the bride's wedding. Today, we're at the groom's wedding. An important part of the groom's wedding is a ceremony called the Bet Arsha. This is a ceremony where the bride comes into the room and she greets the groom's family. At this point she has a veil over her face so that you can't actually see her face. Each time she mentions a name, the bride has to go up to that person and bow to him. That person in response has to give her some money. Once this has all been done, once this song has been complete, that is the point when she takes the veil off and she exposes her face to all the people who haven't seen her before. At that point she goes all the way around the room here and shows her face to everybody with us. And they've agreed to answer some questions from me. This is Azamat and Makhpal. So this is a modern day ceremony today, of course, but I also heard that you're going to do some traditional things this evening. Makhpal, could you tell me more about this?
I can tell you that after this party I'll spend my first day living with my new family. Tomorrow, according to tradition, we'll perform a ritual called kudalik. My relatives will come tomorrow morning and bring my dowry. This tradition has been carried out here since ancient times. Later, all of Azamat's relatives and friends will be meeting of all my relatives. This is what we call the kudalik, or meeting of matchmakers. Tomorrow will be very interesting and different, everything that's needed by a girl.
Azamat, what will you do tomorrow?
Well, first of all, before this event, my parents, family and I went to her relatives for the matchmaking, and this all happened before the wedding itself. According to tradition, the relatives from the groom's side bring a lot of various and valuable gifts. It's called the kalimal, which is the groom's ransom, and is made up of various valuable things, including money and, of course, cattle.
Yes, that's interesting. What kind of cattle? Ah, horses. And where are you going to keep your horses and sheep?
Well, that'll be down to her parents, really.
Have you already decided where to go for your honeymoon?
Yes, we've decided. Actually, we wanted to go on honeymoon straight after the wedding, but not all our documents would be ready then, but we wanted to go to Paris.
After the New Year, yes, we're planning to go to Paris.
To Paris? Oh, that's the most romantic place after a wedding, true? A New Year in Paris is very beautiful.
Well, we wanted to go at Christmas, in fact, according to our schedule, but our documents held us up. Our passports aren't ready.
No, but even so, it's very soon.
Yes, after New Year.
Okay then, I know that you still have a lot of things to do, so thank you for doing this interview. And I wish you great success with your wedding party.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.